This is Shockdo Feynman here with my Water Dark Earth deck profile. Starting, we have Goggle Golem. It is a 4-star card. Its attack is treated as 2100 due to its effect, and I use it to tribute my 5 stars, which I use for Exceed. Next, I have Unizombie and Kraybons. I use them mainly for Dark Tuners. Kraybons has a cool effect. If you're willing to pay the life points, you get to be invincible, basically. Next is Go Gorum. His effect is pretty cool. You get to change his battle position when you send him out. It's a very high attack, and I use him to bring out Golem Golden Form. And if you tribute a Go monster, this has twice the attack of that monster, so he would have 4600 attack. Very powerful. Next is Ancient Tool. It is a normal type monster, so I could use some of my spell and trap cards to bring him out of the graveyard. He's a 5-star, which again I use for Exceed Summon. Lava Battle Guard and Swamp Battle Guard. They're both 5 stars. They have a cool effect if they're out on the field together, giving them more attack, so they could stay on longer. They're 5 stars, so I use them to Exceed Summon. Next is Little Wing Guard. He's a 4-star. He has a cool effect that basically allows you to take no damage. I use him to tribute. Next is Kaba Zalus. It is a normal type monster, so I could use my spell and trap cards to bring it out of the graveyard. It's an aqua type, and I use it to mainly tribute and block direct attacks. Next is one of my higher level cards, Moisture Creature. It's a very good effect once you bring him out by tributing 3 cards. All spell and trap cards on the field, on your opponent's side of the field, are destroyed. And it's also pretty powerful. Next is Mad Dog of Darkness. It is a normal card, no effect, so I could use my spells and traps to bring him out of the graveyard. He's a 4-star, so I use him to tribute a lot. Next is Dice Jar. This card really gets you back into the duel. Both players roll a 6-sided die. The player with the lower result takes damage equal to the opponent's roll times 500. However, if the winner rolled a 6, the loser takes 6,000 damage. The rolls are the same, both players roll again. This really gets you back in the duel, can get you some easy life points taken away. Next is Big Jaws. I have a spell card that relies on banishment, so I really like this. It has a pretty good attack points, and you could use it to attack and be banished quickly. Also, I could use him to Exceed Summon, which I'll show you later. Next is V-Tiger Jet and W-Wing Catapult. They're a union card, so you don't need to use polymerization to summon their fusion, and which I'll show you later. It's pretty powerful, and they're both okay cards on their own. Next is Des Feral Imp. It has a pretty cool effect. You get a special summon someone from your graveyard, back into your deck. Again, it's a 4-star, so you could use him for tribute or to block a direct attack. Next is Battle Ox. It's a normal summon, so I could bring out Birthright. Use Birthright to bring it out. It's a 4-star, so I use it to tribute a lot, and basically it's just used to block direct attacks. Next is Sandmoth. I like his effect. If he's destroyed by an opponent, not by battle, you switch the original attack and defense of the card and then special summon to your side of the field. It's an easy way to get a high level attack monster out with only 4 stars. Rukishin Powers. It's a normal type, so I can bring it out using Birthright and my other trap cards, which you see later. It's normal, so it's used to block direct attacks and tribute summon. Ryu Koki. It is used to go against... I use this card to go against Exceed Summoner. You should really check out his channel, it's pretty good. And it goes when this card battles a warrior or spellcaster type monster, destroy that monster at the end of the damage step. And those are the types of his deck. It's pretty powerful on its own, though. So, Lajin, Mystical Genie of the Lamp. It is a normal type, so I could bring it out using my spells and traps. It's a 4-star, so I could use it to tribute or block to direct attack quickly. Next are Baby Dragon and Time Wizard. They're used for a fusion summon, which I'll show you later, Thousand Dragon. They do require polymerization, and Time Wizard has a pretty good effect if you're willing to take the chance of flipping a coin and destroying their monsters or destroying your monsters. Next is Crawling Dragon number 2. It is a normal type monster, so I can bring it out using some of my spells and traps. It's something you need if you need to quickly block a direct attack or need to tribute summon. It's something quick. Next is one of my favorite cards, the Tricky. You can discard one card from your hand to special summon this card from your hand. It has 2,000 attack, so it's pretty high up there, and it's a level 5, so I could use it to exceed summon quickly. Next is Alien Shock Trooper. He's a level 4, so I'm going to use him mainly to tribute, since he has a high attack to keep him out there, then to block direct attacks. Next is Dungeon Worm. He's not particularly powerful, but I use him since he's a level 5 to exceed summon and get out my exceed monsters. I play 2 Big Jaws. I explained the first one earlier, so it relies on the banishment. I also have Summon Skull. He's a normal type monster, so I could bring him out of my graveyard using some of my traps and spells. Has a pretty high attack, and he only requires 1 tribute. Finally are my 2 Shocktopusses. They have a really awesome effect. When they're destroyed by battle, they attach to the card that destroyed them and give them a 0 attack, leaving them open to be destroyed the next turn. Okay, now I'm going on to my spells. First one up is Shield Crush. Very basic spell. You target 1 defense position monster on the field, and you destroy that target. It's for opening up direct attacks and getting to your opponent's life points. Next is Rush Recklessly. Target 1 face-up monster on the field. It gains 700 attack until the end phase. Great for doing more damage to your opponent or getting enough to destroy their monster. Next is Silent Doom. Target 1 normal monster in your graveyard. Again, I like that a lot because I have a lot of cards that don't have effects. Can bring them out quickly with a lot of attack. You summon it in face-up defense position. It can attack, but it blocks the direct attack, which could keep you in the duel. DDR, Different Dimension Reincarnation. This is what I was talking about. It relies on banishment. It could save you from a direct attack, or maybe you could use it to attack yourself. Target 1 of your banished monsters, special summon it in face-up attack position. Next is Domino Effect. When a monster your opponent controls is destroyed by a battle instead of the graveyard, you can send 1 monster you control to the graveyard and destroy 1 monster your opponent controls. With this, you could open up a lot of direct attacks on your opponent. Next is Double Defender. If you have 2 face-up defense position monsters, you can negate the attack. It's very good for staying in a duel that you're behind, maybe. Next is Fusion Sage and Polymerization. Fusion Sage allows me to bring out a polymerization to my hand, which allows me to fusion. Next is Malice Dispersion. Discard 1 card from your hand, destroy all face-up continuous trap cards on the field. If you're having problems with a card like Gravity Bind, this card really comes in handy. Next is Mind Wipe. This card messes with your opponent's strategy. If they have special cards in their hand, less than 3, you can use this and they'll have to shovel them back in and pull out a different hand, so it's really useful. Next is Rocket Glider. This is for when you don't have enough to kill their opponent's monster, but next turn you want to. The equipped monster is attacking, it can't be destroyed, and then at the end of the damage step, the equipped monster attacks the target monster, loses the attack equal to the attack of the equipped monster until the end phase. So, it's a good way to open up direct attacks. The next is XYZ Revenge. If your opponent controls the face-up XYZ monster that has XYZ material, Target one XYZ monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and then detach one XYZ material from a monster your opponent controls and attach it to the monster as an XYZ material. You can only activate this once per turn. Okay guys, moving on to my traps. First up is Magic Jammer. You discard one card from your hand, negate the activation of a spell card. If there's one that you really don't like and you want to save your cards, this is a really quick trap. Next is Kunai with Chain. It's good for stopping attacks. It turns your opponent's monster into defense position, and you gain 500 attack. Next is Damage Gate. It's good for blocking. It's good for getting a monster out of your graveyard. When you take battle damage, target one monster in your graveyard with attack less than or equal to the amount of the damage you took. Special summon it. It's really useful for staying in the duel. Door of Destiny is used to block direct attacks. It is summoned as a light, level 1, attack 0, defense 0 type monster. And you can summon it in defense position to block a direct attack. Next is Counter. If your opponent summons a counter card to your attack, you could counter it and you block their trap card from taking effect. Poseidon Wave is really good with an Aqua deck, which is part of mine. When the opponent's monster declares attack, target the attacking monster, negate the target's attack, and if you control any face of fish, sea serpent, or aqua type monsters, inflict 800 damage to your opponent for each of those monsters. Really useful in a duel. Up next is Jar of Greed. It's a simple trap card. You draw one card from your deck. You get an extra draw. Could save you. Next is Malevolent Catastrophe. When an opponent's monster declares attacks, destroy all spell and trap cards on the field. It's good for when you just want to clear the deck, because you know they got a lot of strong cards back there. Birthright was one of the cards I was talking about earlier. Activate this card by targeting one normal monster, so can't have effects. And special summon that target in face of attack position, which is good for like Summon Skull, because he has a very high attack. When this card leaves the field, destroy that monster. When the monster leaves the field, destroy the card. Very simple. Next is probably my favorite trap card, Punch in the Box. When your opponent declares an attack where they control 2 or more monsters, target the attacking monster, negate the attack, and if you do, send one other monster they control to the graveyard. And then the targeted monster loses attack equal to the original attack or defense of the sent monster to the graveyard. This is good for opening up direct attacks for the next turn. And then my last trap is Compulsory Evacuation Device. It's good for opening up direct attacks. Return one monster to the field to its owner's hand. Next is my extra deck. First up is Exceed Summon Shark Caesar. It's a fish type and 3 or more, max 5. Level 3 monsters. Once per turn, you could detach one XYZ material from this card. Place one shark counter on this card, and this card gains 1000 attack for each shark counter on it. Next is Shark Fortress. 2 level 5 monsters, which is why I was talking about having a lot of level 5s earlier. Your opponent could not target monsters other than this one for the attack, and you could detach one XYZ material from this card and target one face-up monster you control, and it could take 2 attacks, which is great for a card like Golem Golden Form. Next is my Union card, VW Tiger Catapult. You don't need a polymerization to summon this. I really like that. Has an okay attack, and its effect is good, I guess. Moving on is Thousand Dragon. It's a card used by Baby Dragon and Time Wizard. This does need polymerization, but it's pretty powerful, and it's used to basically do damage to your opponent. And my last card is Void Ogre Dragon. It's a synchro. I was talking about Dark Tuners earlier. This is what I use them for. Has 3000 attack and defense. And if you have no cards in your hand, you can negate the activation of a spell card and destroy it. Well guys, hope you liked my deck. I'm going to post a duel soon. Until then, see ya.